Peace, love, and about our hair, y'all. What is good? Shire Gemini attorney once again for an amazing video. Okay, so I wanted to do just a little different, or something a little different with this video, because I haven't been talking about astrology in kind of a while. So I really just want to take the time to talk about my passion, talk about something that I know for certain. Okay, so I want to briefly talk about aspects in your chart that can kind of indicate what type of partner you're attracted to, or really how to find a mate, or the type of mate that kind of fits your needs based on astrology. Okay, so it's a couple points that I did want to hit. So and if y'all got questions, please feel free to comment below. Okay, real quick, I do want to just tell everybody thank you all for my new subscribers. Welcome to my channel. Also, the subscribers that already been here and are rocking with me, thank y'all so much. Y'all are really fucking amazing. Okay, still with emails, DMs, give me a chance to get to you. My life is pretty hectic, like I've stated before. Okay, all right, so let's get into it. So in your birth chart, okay, you have really three particular houses that deal with romance, relating, sex, flirting, things like that. Okay, so I'm going to use in the best type way I can. Okay, I'm going to use an example of my birth chart, all right, which is this right here. Okay, so the first house that I do want to kind of focus on is, okay, let me start this. Okay, so there's the three houses that determine kind of your partners and romantic relationship. Is the fifth house, which is the house of Leo, the seventh house, which is the house of Libra, and the eighth house, which is the house of Scorpio. Okay, now with the houses, as I stated before, you can tell which house is the ruler of what sign by basically starting with Aries. Okay, because Aries is the first sign of the zodiac because it kicks off spring. The new year does not start in January, even though we're on the Gregorian calendar. Okay, obviously that's not accurate. You should know that by now. If you don't, well, now you don't. Okay, so the first sign is always going to be Aries, which is ruler of the first house. Okay, and then the sign after that is Taurus, ruler of the second house. The third sign after that is Gemini, ruler of the fourth house. Third house, I'm sorry. And then the fourth sign after that is Cancer, which is the ruler of the fourth house. The fifth sign, or the fifth house, is Leo. The sixth house is Virgo. The seventh house is Libra. The eighth house is Scorpio. Ninth house Sagittarius, so on and so forth. Okay, so that's how you can determine which house is ruled by which sign, just by going in chronological order. Okay, so with the fifth house being in Leo, okay, being ruled by Leo, I'm sorry. This house is all about creativity, flirting, romance. Okay, it's just really the house of fun and the house of play. Okay, so if you notice, a lot of Leos are very the ones I know. Okay, typically that's if they don't have a lot of Virgo in the chart, but typically Leos are really playful. Leos need a lot of admiration. Leos like to be in love with love. They like, the chase of love. They like, the romanticism that comes with it, and the flowers, and the cards and the gifts. Leos really like gifts, so if you have a Leo, make sure you give them a gift to let them know how appreciative you are of them. Okay, so I'm going to start now. This varies, okay, because my chart, I have a natural chart. Okay, so this is my first house. In your first house is your ascendant. If you did a birth chart reading with me, I've already explained this to you, but like I said, if y'all got questions, please comment in the comments below. Okay, so I have what Sister Myra calls, because I really like Sister Myra's teachings, I have a natural chart. Okay, so all of my houses are in their natural signs because I'm an Aries ascendant. Okay, my rising sign is in Aries, so Aries likes being in the first house or Aries likes to be in an ascendant sign because this is its original house, so it functions well here. So with that being said, the signs and my houses, they're at home. So I have a natural chart. Okay, so I have Aries here in my first house, the AC, which represents the ascendant. So I'm going to come all the way over here to where it says 5. Okay, so that's my fifth house. And my fifth house is a little bit in Cancer, but majority of it is in Leo. Okay, so I have Leo in my fifth house. Okay, so this just means that, I like partners who give me admiration. I flirt by big grand gestures, things like that. Okay, just anything that has to pertain to Leo energy are the things that I like in romance. Now, if you have something else in the fifth house, like, I don't know, maybe if you have, for example, Sagittarius in the fifth house, so you may view flirting as, or you may flirt, okay, or have fun via talking about intellectual ideas such as religion, politics, philosophy, what's the meaning in life. You might also flirt by traveling, or not necessarily flirt by traveling, but that's kind of a way that you view romance, by kind of traveling with your partner, going on adventures with your partner, maybe going on hikes, just doing fun things. Okay, for example, if you had, I don't know, Taurus in the fifth house, okay? Taurus in the fifth house, they might be flirting as, just going out to eat, getting flowers, indulging in sensual pleasures, I guess, with people or with their partner, okay? Because those are the things of Taurus. And also with Taurus in the fifth house too, this can manifest as, I don't know, somebody, Taurus also like gifts too, okay? So this can manifest as somebody who views gift giving, materialism, or somebody or a partner giving them materialism or anything material rather as flirting. Okay, so that's kind of the fifth house. Okay, and the fifth house also rules creating children as well. Like the fourth house that deals with Cancer, deals with nurturing children. And then the fifth house just deals with creating children. So me having Leo in the fifth house, I really, get along with children. I'm very playful with children. That's how I show my kind of affection. That's how I show kind of my fifth house energy, okay? So next, you want to look at your seventh house, okay? So your seventh house, this is your ascendant here. So your seventh house is always going to be opposite of your descendant, which is your descendant, okay? So my seventh house is here. So I have Libra on the cusp of my seventh house because Aries is about the self. It's and the opposite of that is Libra, okay? And also I have Scorpio on the cusp of my seventh house too. Now, when you have more than one sign on the cusp of a house, okay, you have to incorporate both of these energies. So for example, me being an Aries ascendant, I'm always kind of about the self. I'm very aggressive. I'm very direct. I'm very straightforward. Okay. And when I was younger, sometimes I was inconsiderate of other people's feelings. But I noticed throughout my life, I've been attracting a lot of people who they're either Libras, because I'm really good friends with Libras, or they either have Libra in their chart. Okay. And so me having Libra in my seventh house, and I'm sorry, let me back up. Okay. So your seventh house in your birth chart really is the qualities that you look for in a partner, the qualities that attract you, that are attractive to you, that are attractive in a partner. I'm stuttering right now. I don't know why, so please bear with me. But your seventh house in your birth chart tells you the type of things that you like in a partner. Just dealing with basic one-on-one relating and cooperation, because Libra, once again, is the natural ruler of the seventh house. So me having Libra on the cusp of my seventh house, and things naturally flow very fluid here because Libra likes being in the seventh house, okay? So Libra in my seventh house, I attract a lot of people who have Libra in their charts because they teach me how to be considerate unto others. They teach me that sometimes the direct approach is not always the best approach, because I'm really blunt. So, and Libras are a little more passive, you know what I'm saying? Because Libra is all about other people, okay? And the partner, for example, I do like partners who are charming, who have manners, who are very intellectual, because Libra is an air sign and deals with mentalism and intellectual thought. I look for partners just who are nicely clean. If I'm going out with a guy or even a girl or something, I look for manners, you know what I'm saying? I don't like people who are loud, and when we're in public. I like people, if I'm going out to eat with somebody, I like people who have good table manners, who can articulate themselves very well and things like that, okay? Now, with me having Scorpio in the seventh house as well, this kind of moderates that seventh house energy of that Libra, so I have to incorporate both of those signs, okay? So me having Scorpio in the seventh house, I I like partners who have emotional depth. I like sexual partners. I like partners who are interested in the occult. I like partners who are a little mysterious. I like partners who are basically just very deep and intense, okay? Because those are kind of briefly the aspects of Scorpio, okay? So when you have two of these aspects, when you have two signs in one house, you have to really incorporate these. So let me give another example. For example, if somebody has, I'm trying to think, if somebody has Cancer descendant, that means their rising sign will have to be in Capricorn, because Capricorn is opposite of Cancer. So if somebody had Cancer in the 7th house, they would like a partner who's nurturing. They are like a partner who's sweet. They might like a partner who reminds them of their mother. They might like a partner who they can build a home with, because Cancer is the ruler of the 4th house. So Cancer deals with the home and domestication. Cancer, somebody with Cancer in the 7th house might even look for a partner who, like I said, they can have children with, you know, who they can nurture children with. Maybe a partner who likes to cook as well, because Cancer, you know, likes food, you know, things like that. So basically that's a brief synopsis on the 7th house, okay? And then the next thing that you want to look for is your 8th house, which is the next house, which is a house of Scorpio, okay? So the 8th house deals with joint finances, deep intimate bonding, and sex. So once you move from the 7th house, the 7th house is just basically like, okay, you know, we connect, we can compromise, we do good on one-on-one relating, basically. So it's kind of like, it's not necessarily a basic house, but it's just kind of like, you know, when you first get to meet somebody, you just trying to see basic compatibility. Can we work well together? Can we compromise together? Can we come to a consensus with one another? Because that's Libra, that's the 7th house, that's the scales. Now once you elevate from the 7th house to the 8th house, now once you find out that you can cooperate with one another in the 7th house, then you move to the 8th house, which deals with, like I said, sex, joint finances, and deep intimate bonding, okay? And like I said, this is also the house of the occult, things that deal with tantric. On the lower octave might deal with obsession, possession. On the lower octave, maybe a little manipulation, you know, things like that, okay? So I'm going to show my 8th house. So my 8th house is here, okay? My ruler of the 8th house is in Scorpio. So like I said, my Scorpio likes being here. And I also have to Sagittarius on the house as well. So like I said, with two signs on the same cusp, you kind of have to see how those work. You kind of have to incorporate them both. I'm sorry. The 8th house determines, can also determine spouses, okay? It determines, if you have planets in the 8th house, it can determine how you and possibly a spouse may, you know, get along with actually sharing joint resources, because Scorpio is opposite of Taurus. These are both money houses. They deal with money. Taurus deals with the self-income, okay, your own income, and Scorpio deals with other people's income. This is why they say sometimes Scorpios make great accountants, because they're really good with other people's money and other people's resources, okay? So planets in the 8th house can, if you have planets in the 8th house, this can indicate you, like I said, you might like a partner that's deep, a partner that can go to the deepest, darkest depths of you, a partner that you don't mind sharing your shadow self with, or your shadow side with, you know, the partner that you don't mind sharing taboos with, the things that you kind of keep hidden from everybody else. If somebody, when you have a planet in this house, this can indicate you liking somebody who you can share those things with. For example, if you had Gemini on the 8th house cusp, okay? So you might like talking sexual to your partner, okay? You might like intimate conversations with your partner. You might even like talking during sex, you know, with your partner. If you have Gemini in the 8th house, this can manifest as you just you may actually like to learn. You might actually like to learn things about the occult, you know, and maybe study with your partner, because Gemini deals with intellectualism, basic knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Basic arithmetic, and also basic just gathering information. Okay. Now, I briefly explained, those are 3 houses that you want to really focus on when looking for kind of how your relationships, what kind of people that you attract, or when you're looking for a partner, these are the houses that you want to look at. So it's the 5th house, the 7th house that deals with one-on-one relating, and the 8th house that deals with intimate bonding, sex, and things like that. Now, another indicator that I do want to point out is in a man's chart. I stated this before. In the man's chart, his moon and his Venus sign is going to tell you the type of woman that he likes. Okay, so the moon deals with the emotional responses, your intuition, your mother, your early childhood, things like that. Okay, how you viewed your mother as well. So a man's moon is going to tell the type of woman that he needs emotionally, that the type of woman that emotionally nurture him. So for example, if you have a man who has a moon in Virgo, okay, so he looks for a woman who's can improve him. He looks for a woman naturally satisfying him through maybe working hard or just doing little things for him, like I don't know, maybe going grocery shopping for him, or maybe cooking for him, or maybe putting on his tie in the morning on his way to work. You know what I'm saying? Those are the things of Virgo. And the Venus sign in a man's chart tells the type of woman that he likes aesthetically. So when a man is out and he's looking around and he has a certain sign as his Venus sign, that's going to kind of reflect the type of woman that he likes. So for example, if a man has a Venus in Leo, okay, he's going to look for a woman that's kind of all dressed up, maybe makeup, kind of has big hair, because Leos really do like, big hair and things like that. He looks for a woman that carries herself in a kind of royal in kind of a royal presence or in a royal way. Men with Venus and Leo might like a woman who's maybe a little dramatic, maybe a little stuck up, maybe somebody who just looks good on the outside world, somebody who gets a lot of attention. Okay, that's the type of man that's the type of woman that Venus and Leo, that's the type, I'm sorry, I cannot talk. That is the type of woman that a man with Venus and Leo likes. Okay, now we're going to bring it back to the ladies. In your birth chart, your sun and your Mars determine what type of man you like, because these are both masculine planets. Okay, so your sun sign, like I said, is your basic self, your identity. Ladies, if your sun, for example, my sun is in Gemini, so I like men who are intelligent. Intelligence is really important to me. I like men who are fun, men who are able to articulate, men who can keep me mentally stimulated. Okay, things like that. You know what I'm saying? Those are the things that deal with Gemini. And then your Mars sign, ladies, because Mars is a masculine planet, is going to tell you the type of man that you like or attracted to. So, for example, if you're a woman and you have, for example, Mars in, I'm going to do Mars in maybe Pisces, okay? So if you are a woman, you have your Mars in Pisces, you might look for a man who's very spiritually oriented, a man that's very selfless, a man that's sweet, a man that is also nurturing, a man that can really see the best in you, you know what I'm saying, even though when you don't see the best in yourself, okay? A man who's a dreamer, you probably like a man who's imaginative, a man who's very creative, because Pisces are very creative beings, and a man who just has who's just very spiritually oriented, okay, whether that's in religion or whether that's in metaphysics and occult and things like that. Okay, so and then you have to really consider where these planets are placed in your houses as well, because that's going to moderate it a lot. Okay, so for example, if you have your Venus sign, let's say I have a Venus in Aquarius, right, but it's in the 8th house. So Venus in Aquarius, naturally detached. Venus in Aquarius likes unconventional partnerships. Venus in Aquarius like partners who are a little weird, a little offbeat, partners who really don't fit in the societal expectations. You know what I'm saying? Somebody who's out the box. That's Venus in Aquarius. But if you have it in the 8th house, okay, this is going to moderate that energy a little bit, because this is the house of Scorpio. So even though that Venus in Aquarius is going to be naturally detached, when it's in the 8th house, it's a completely different thing, because it's in the house of Scorpio. So you might also like partners who are deep. You might also like into deep connections with people, and those are things that kind of Aquarius aren't really known for, just deep connections with others. They typically have a detached connections with others, but like I said, if you have Venus in the 8th house, that can moderate it a little bit. You might be attracted to partners who you know, are very dominant, are very sexual, partners who you might love really, really deep compared to the average Venus Aquarius who views love intellectually, because the 8th house is also a water house. You know what I'm saying? So you really have to take those things into consideration when you're trying to look for a partner using your birth chart, okay? So like I said, depending on what's in your 5th house, your 7th house, and your 8th house, and depending on where your love planets are, whether you're a man, which will be your moon and your Venus, or whether you're a woman, and this can also apply both ways too. Like I said, it's just not restricted to a man, what he likes being just his, and a woman being just his moon and his Venus. You also have to take in consideration, you know, his Mars. You know, he might like a different type of woman who's sexual, because Mars in your birth chart tells you the things that you like sexually and how you express your sexuality as well, okay? So you have to really look at everything. So with that being said, I hope I explained everything well. Like I said, I know sometimes I'm not very detail oriented, okay? So if y'all feel like I went a little too fast, let me know something. Comment below if you don't understand something, or if you want me to do a natal chart reading on you to help you kind of break down this and for me to help you, you know, learn how to read your own chart, because that's what I do with my readings. I don't give you some shit to read. I tell you how to read your chart, as well as, you know, if need be, read somebody else's chart, okay? Because I want to pass on the knowledge, you know what I'm saying? So, like I said, with that being said, I really hope y'all enjoyed this video. I will leave all my information below. So feel free to contact me, email me, DM me on Twitter, Instagram, things like that, and I will get back to you at my soonest availability, okay? I do have a lot of projects coming up that I will be announcing very, very soon. I'm really cooperating. Is that a word? It is now. I'm really kind of cooperating with other people on a project that I'm working on, with people who are like me, who do astrology and tarot readings and things like that. So I will be coming out with that very, very soon. I'll be making a video on it, as well as posting some people who have contributed to that as well. So be on the lookout for that. With that being said, I love y'all.